Gonna go over all my perk augments along with Aether Shroud. Won't bother with the others because I don't use the other field upgrades and I rarely buy an ammo mod, even less now that salvage amounts are lower. Having said that, dead wire on your melee can be super clutch to escape a horde, one punch to shock them and find a way out, but it's hard to prioritize that over armor and a self-revive plus maybe a chopper gunner, couple upgrades on rarity. I'd take all of those before I went for an ammo mod. Also, not going to go super in-depth on every single perk because a lot of these, I never buy them, so just the most relevant I'll really get into. We start with Stamin-up. I run Dasher and Hard Target, and this is a perk I buy frequently. Dasher just seems like the clear-cut best of the three, and Hard Target is great because there's a lot of projectile spam in this game, especially on ammo rounds with parasites. Maybe quarterback could be okay if you needed to throw a monkey for a revive, but if the other team is decent, they're just going to knock you off anyway, and a monkey makes it even easier. In this game, the best way to get a revive is by having the other team distracted by the zombies, so you really don't want to throw that or a decoy. I really only use shock charges, and there's no reason I'd ever need to throw one while running. I only throw them when I get trapped. Sometimes, if their best player is down, I'll throw it at them after knocking the other team off for a while to bleed them out, but that's rare. They better be damn good for me to waste one to stop a revive, otherwise shock charges are escape only. Quick Revive, another perk I buy often. I run Dying Wish and Swift Recovery. Now, there's some good options at the top, and this is going to be down to playstyle. Dying Wish is great if you like to mix it up and maybe get a little too aggressive. It gives you an out. EMT is solid if you're trying to be the medic of the team. There's a lot of synergy in these augments if you wanted to do a medic build. And Equivalent Exchange is okay if you run Mustang and Sally for a free self-revive. For the minor augment, I like Swift Recovery because it allows me to get risky revives because I can just run the hell out of there after, but Karmic Return would be a solid choice as well, but I feel like most good players are going to gravitate toward anything that speeds you up. On Jug, I use Probiotic and Hardened Plates, and this one some of you have differing opinions on, and that's fine. That's the sign of a well-balanced game when you can make arguments for the other choices. I like Probiotic because most games don't go that long, and this gives you a leg up on aggressive knifers because you can mix it up with them and take a few more hits than they can and end things pretty early. In later rounds, it's not very good. It doesn't even amount to one extra hit if your armor is broken, but it is a nice boost for the early game. But I can really see the benefit of Imperil Peach. Reactive armor. But one thing about reactive armor is it gives vital intel to the other team. It says, you just broke a piece of armor and they should stick on you because you're close to dying. A perceptive player is going to use stuff like that and turn your advantage into their own advantage. In Turtle Shell, I could see a huge benefit for a defensive player. If you're the guy always getting knocked back into the zombies, then it's going to be great because you'll keep surviving shit that you shouldn't. But for someone that likes getting aggressive, Turtle Shell is a horrible fit because the way I play, I get hit from every single angle, and armor only working from the back would be a death sentence from round 15 onward. I wouldn't be able to mix it up with anyone because I'm just exposing myself to go down. And I like Hardened Plates for my minor augment. Retaliation won't be good because we're not going to be killing much. And Durable Plates probably does have a place now that zombies hit harder. It's going to save you some trips to the crafting table, so post-patch, yeah, I could see some value. But again, I really enjoy getting into the thick of it, and nothing is going to beat Hardened Plates if you're that kind of player. But there are options here depending on your playstyle. Melee Macchiato, if that's even how it's said. I run Espresso for obvious reasons. That's your YY knifing equivalent. And Stick and Move just because it's good in survival. As far as grief, none of these three options are going to do much for you. Maybe Strength Training could get you out of a jam, but I run a dedicated melee, so I don't even have the punch. Now for Speed Cola, we got Supercharged and Fast Pitcher. Supercharged is the clear-cut winner for grief, even more so since the patch that made Aether Shroud charge slower. And Fast Pitcher is the only useful thing here for a griefer. We're not switching guns and we're not hitting the box. Being able to toss that shock charge even quicker when you get trapped is going to be pretty handy. Though, admittedly, I rarely buy this perk. Vulture Aid is something I rarely buy, but it is very good in Grief. And we got Smell of Death and Picky Eater. Now, Smell of Death is amazing in Grief. You saw its utility in the Handsome Man game. It allows you to stand in a cloud and the zombies ignore you. Opens up opportunities to fight back against someone because if you stand your ground, the zombies only hit them. Also gives you a breather to health regen because the zombies attack the other player and force them to move. Picky Eater I like because it's a chance for more shock charges, which are now very pricey, with salvage only dropping 50 at a time. But carry-on luggage, if you are a player that uses your gun, that's what you want to run because that's your way to speed back up the salvage drops. Depth perception, I mean, what do you want me to say? Critical eye and bird's eye view is what I run. If you're valuing this perk before the others, you're doing it wrong. What the hell on this list is going to assist you in a game of Grief? At best, more money from Extra Chance and Treasure Hunter. Maybe you get set up a little quicker, but only a tiny bit, and the money you spent on this perk could have been spent on 20 other things that would have benefited you more. You know when it's worth getting this perk? When you pop a Perkaholic. PhD Flopper, the crutchiest of the crutch. Everybody wants that Tribologist slide, me included. So I run that and Dr. Ram. Now, I like Dr. Ram because it's easy. I don't have to do anything. Literally touch a zombie and it knocks them down. But if you're one of those slide canceling bitches, and I only say bitches because with Tribologists, it's very broken and not the most legit way to play, then you'd go with PhD Slider because the off chance a zombie got in front of you, since obviously they won't catch up behind you, then you'd knock them down and you're basically untouchable. But otherwise, if we're not roadrunnering around the map with slide canceling and trying to play a legit game of Grief, then it's Dr. Rim and Tribologist, no question. And there's also no question Tribologist needs some kind of cooldown because it's the one augment every single player agrees on, and that's because it's OP compared to everything else. Deadshot. Personally, I would never buy this perk because I don't use a gun, but a lot of people do, and more so, they buy it early to do capture zones, and the setup I've got here will probably yield solid results. Dead first because you want to be the one hitting the zombie and kill it before they even get a chance to, and Dead Break because the other two are useless. Maybe Dead Draw could have value for spraying enemies because hipfire in this game is horrible, and one reason why I don't even bother spraying because you can't really hipfire them outside of melee range, and aiming the gun isn't great at long range either because this is modern Call of Duty with borderline lock-on aim assist, which is going to pull to a zombie that's 90 degrees out of your field of view when you try and hit the enemy. With Double Tap, again, I would never buy it because I don't use guns. But for the Capture Zone guy, it has great value, and Double Standard and Double Time are solid choices, but so are all of them. Now, I don't know if Double Impact works on melee. If it does, then that sounds decent, but I'm still not buying this perk. And with how the zombies are tuned now, the games are going to end well before you buy every single perk, unless you are rhino gunning up a storm, and if you're new here, that means kill whoring. It should never get to that point where you're overflowing with money and buy all the perks. The games just don't go that long anymore, and if you did buy every single perk, I'm not shaming anyone, but you might need to get a little more hands-on with the other team. The zombies are a tool to grief the other team. You should not be killing them any more than is necessary to get set up. And Elemental Pop. I run Reactive Armor. Imperil Peach and Chill Berry. Now, Imperil Peach is not nearly as OP as I thought because it wasn't even the right augment I was complaining about. But it's still our best option because we're not using a gun, so Electric Cherry is out. And Citrus Focus isn't going to matter much either because we don't have enough salvage to worry about ammo mods anymore. Obviously, you can prioritize what works for you, but for my playstyle, 500 for an ammo mod is 500 that should be saved up for something far better. That salvage does not flow anymore, which means you gotta make a cut somewhere and your ammo mod makes the most sense. And Chillberry, just in case you did buy an ammo mod, something like Deadwire will give you more chances at punching your way out of a trap. I don't want Pineapple Blast because I like using equipment to grief people, and we don't want it to trigger ammo mods because then it will kill the zombies and protect the person we're griefing. And Vulnera Bean doesn't matter because we're not killing specials or elites. Those should be preserved to run them into the other team. Now, if it's a zombie ambush against me, I'm still not going to stand there and fight them because that's just going to get you killed. Much better idea to run for your life instead. Now, as far as the order I buy perks, this slightly varies depending on who I'm playing, but for me, generally it's Jug, then Quick Revive, then Stamin-up, then Flopper, then maybe Elemental Pop, but that would need to be a very long game for my playstyle to even approach that much money. I know a lot of people swear by melee Macchiato. My issue is that the stun doesn't stack, and you can already swing so fast you can hit the person 3 times before the stun wears off, so swinging even faster is pure overkill. It does have some value because it makes their screen shake more, but otherwise, I don't buy it. I believe it also makes your melee weapon deal slightly more damage, but not enough to offset the cost, in my opinion. And finally, our Aether Shroud augments. I run Group Shroud and Extension. Group Shroud goes without saying. It's the best option here. Body blocking is a joke in this game. You can just walk through people and zombies, so Burst Dash is useless. And Void Sheath is also useless because it's grief. We're not killing anyway. I guess if you wanted to go ultra cheesy, you could run Void Sheath with your upgraded melee and just keep killing zombies to stay invisible until the other team dies. I don't think anybody around here is going to go for that. Now, I used to run Extra Charge as my minor augment, and I gave that up because I started to notice, because of my lack of kills, it was very rare I ever got the second charge, and post-patch, it charges even slower, and the games don't last as long, so 2 charges seems pointless. On top of that, the Power Keg Gobblegum, or just from a zombie because they dropped them too, it only gives 1 charge. It will not give you the second one, so extra duration is the much better choice. So that runs you through all my augments and my reasoning for what I run. Hopefully that can help you out, especially if you're either new to Grief or new to Black Ops 6 Zombies.